So recently, Dr. Chris Kempshaw's excellent book, The Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire, was released, which I've covered a bit on the channel and I highly recommend. Well, a fan on Twitter, Walter Ray, has made an interesting connection within the book, which has a lot of deeper implications for the Star Wars lore and Star Wars canon. It all starts off with this simple image of Luthen Rael stepping off of a transport. Quite unremarkable, right? Well, the caption is the real key here. It states that the image comes from the Imperial Security Bureau's databanks of the person of interest known as Axis. This book does a great job of taking screenshots from movies and shows and then recontextualizing them as in-universe snippets of information in different ways. Broadcasts from Imperial authorities, images taken from onboard cameras of Y-Wings, and even a picture of Galen Erso taken by Cassian Andor, who was sizing him up through his sniper scopes at the time. It gives a really excellent feeling of immersion through the recontextualization of the scenes. However, we are then left with the question, the image of Luthen Rael was simply him exiting a transport and walking off in a wide shot. There's nothing majorly identifying from this rear angle. It's the kind of image you'd expect an investigator like Dedra to have pinned up on her wall, as they work to track down people of similar builds and age. So who could have taken this? What is the in-universe explanation for this image supposedly being in possession of the ISB? Now, just in case you don't know, The Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire is actually set fully in-universe, written by an in-universe character from The Rise of Skywalker. So the image takes place in the series before Andor and Luthen ever met, meaning that this evidence would have been gathered after the incidents within the series take place. So it's some kind of long-term surveillance, but the angle is far too low to be standard CCTV camera we'd see on most transports. Walter points out that a rebuttal could mention that this as being the only cool image of Luthen available, but in other places in the book, details from the series such as the secret rebel asset taking a covert image is used to justify images from different scenes. This tells us that Dr. Kempshaw, the author, pays a deep level of attention and cares about these details. Luthen does meet a sketchy guy on the transport, one who's visibly wearing a wire and even tells him, you never know who you're talking to these days. So this, however, is more than likely a red herring, since the image is taken from such a low angle down that it's hard to believe the man taking that kind of shot. In the next scene, however, we can see something which is indeed at a low level, around knee height. The automatic staircase which allowed Luthen to exit the transport in the first place. I had no idea, but this is actually a type of droid, known as a staircase droid, which was introduced in the show. Although we don't know for sure, it would make a lot of sense for a commercial product like this to have some kind of cameras which stream to a data center that any potential robberies, assaults, or even events can be investigated and potential wrongdoers can be identified. Now, Walter does end his tweet chain joining about how the droid would have every reason to tell on Luthen to the ISB due to being downtrodden every day, very literally being stepped on by humans. But despite the funny side, this is actually a really deep and fascinating lore implication. It means that the investigative capabilities in universe are actually extremely detailed, and if this is true, the book has even gone about creating a new way for the ISB to acquire information, by holding and analyzing everyday surveillance for transport systems. Obviously, it's unlikely that we'll see this brought up in detail elsewhere, but it's a really interesting and fun idea, so props to Walter for the incredible connection he made, and as always, big credit to Dr. Kempshaw for creating such an amazing book in the first place. If you're a fan of canon and history, both real world and limited to Star Wars, please be sure to check out the book, The Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire. You can get it with the Amazon link in the description down below. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more awesome weekly Star Wars content, and drop a thank Mr. Kempshaw in the comments down below if you made it this far.